For decades, Lucille Ball made the world laugh louder than anyone else, but near the end, the laughter faded, replaced by 0:099 seconds silence, regret, and a single moment that revealed everything she had been hiding. When she sat down for what would 0:1717 seconds become her final interview, it wasn't the fiery redhead audiences remembered. 0:2222 seconds. It was a woman carrying the weight of a lifetime, success, heartbreak, and the feeling of being left behind by the 0:30 seconds world she helped build. What she said that day left everyone in the room and millions watching in tears, the lonely queen of comedy. 0:4242 seconds. By 1989, Lucille Ball's name was still legendary, but her life no longer felt that way. 0:50 seconds. The woman who once commanded 44 million viewers every Monday night was living in quiet isolation. Her Beverly Hills 0:57 seconds mansion, once full of laughter and guests, had grown cold. Most of her old friends were gone. Her children, Lucy 1061 minute, 6 seconds and Desi Jr., lived far away and rarely visited, and though her second husband, 111 minute, 11 seconds Gary Morton, stayed by her side, he often spoke of the sadness that lingered in the air, the kind that fame and 118 minute, 18 seconds fortune could never erase. Lucille had been America's sweetheart, a symbol of joy, but behind closed doors, she was 127 minute, 27 seconds haunted by the past. The end of life with Lucy in 1986 had crushed her spirit. She had come out of retirement, 136 minute, 36 seconds hoping to remind the world that she still had it. Instead, the show was cancelled after only 8 episodes, for 144 minute, 44 seconds. The first time in her career, audiences didn't laugh. Critics called it a painful farewell. Friends said Lucy took 152 minute, 52 seconds. It personally, that she stayed up at night rereading the reviews, wondering if the magic was gone forever. It was 158 minute, 58 seconds. More than just a failed show, it was a sign of something deeper. That time had moved on and Hollywood had forgotten its queen. 2082 minutes, 8 seconds. The comedians she once inspired now ruled television, but few ever called to check in. The woman who once broke 2:16 minutes, 16 seconds barriers for female performers now sat alone, watching reruns of I Love Lucy in her living room. Every so often, she'd laugh softly, then wipe a tear away. 2:27 minutes, 27 seconds. Physically, she was fading. 2 years of smoking had damaged her lungs, and by 1988, 2:35 minutes, 35 seconds. Heart trouble began to show. Still, she refused to admit weakness. I'm fine. 2:41 minutes, 41 seconds. She'd insist to her nurse, even when she could barely walk to the kitchen. When friends urged her to slow down, she replied, I don't know how to stop. 2:51 minutes, 51 seconds. That stubbornness had built her career. 2:54 minutes, 54 seconds. But now, it was all she had left, the early heartbreaks that shaped her. 3023 minutes, 2 seconds. Lucille Desiree Ball was born on August 6, 1911 in Jamestown, New York, a small-town girl who would one day rule 3 minutes, 11 seconds Hollywood, but her childhood was anything but joyful. When she was only 3 years old, tragedy struck. Her father, 3 minutes, 18 seconds Henry Ball, a telephone lineman, fell ill with typhoid fever. In the final weeks of his life, he was climbing poles 3 minutes, 26 seconds in the snow trying to fix tangled wires during a storm. His health failed fast. 3 minutes, 33 seconds. On February 28, 1915, he died, just 27 years old. Lucille's memories of that 3:43 minutes, 40 seconds day never left her. She remembered her mother crying, a picture falling off the wall, and a small bird trapped inside 3 minutes, 47 seconds. The house, that image of the bird terrified her for the rest of her life. 3:52 minutes, 52 seconds. From that moment, she developed a deep fear of birds, not just the real ones. 3:58 minutes, 58 seconds. But pictures or even patterns that resembled them. Friends later said she would refuse to stay in hotel rooms if 4054 minutes, 5 seconds there was bird wallpaper. To Lucy, that memory was more than superstition. It was grief she could never shake. Her mother, Day, was young and overwhelmed, for 16 minutes, 16 seconds pregnant with Lucille's little brother, for 18 minutes, 18 seconds Fred. To survive, she sent Lucille to live with relatives while she tried to rebuild their lives. Lucy grew up 4 minutes, 27 seconds feeling displaced, like a guest in her own family. When her mother remarried a man named Ed Peterson, things didn't get 4 minutes, 35 seconds easier. His parents were strict and cold, banning mirrors in the house so the children wouldn't grow vain. Lucy 4 minutes, 43 seconds would later say those years taught her how to act. How to pretend everything was fine when it wasn't. Then came another tragedy that changed everything. 4 minutes, 53 seconds when Lucy was 12, her stepfather set up a target practice area in the backyard. 4 minutes, 59 seconds he was careful, but one day an accident happened. A young neighbor boy was shot by mistake. The bullet hit his spine and 5 minutes, 6 seconds left him paralyzed. The boy's family sued and won. The Balls lost everything. 5 minutes, 13 seconds their home, their furniture, even their insurance. Lucy's grandfather, consumed by guilt, never worked again. She said 5 minutes, 21 seconds later, one accident destroyed us. The rise and the pain behind I Love Lucy. 5 minutes, 28 seconds by the time Lucille Ball reached her late 20s, she had already faced more rejection than success. Her dream of acting began in New York, but it was 5 minutes, 37 seconds crushed early when her teachers at the John Murray Anderson School for the Dramatic Arts told her she had no talent. One instructor even sent her 5 minutes, 46 seconds home, telling her mother not to waste money on lessons. Years later, Lucy would remember that humiliation as the turning point that made her tougher. 5 minutes, 56 seconds all I learned there, she once said, was how to be frightened. 6 minutes, 1 second but she didn't quit. She went back to New York in 1928, took modeling jobs to survive, and eventually moved west to 6 minutes, 10 seconds Hollywood. In the 1930s, she became known around studios as the Queen of the B-movies. She appeared in more than 75, 6 minutes, 19 seconds films, usually as a chorus girl, a sidekick, or the woman who never got the spotlight. Still, she never stopped learning. Each set taught her timing. 6 minutes, 29 seconds posture and control. The camera loved her even when the industry didn't. Then, in 1940, her life changed forever. 6 minutes, 38 seconds during the filming of Too Many Girls. 6 minutes, 40 seconds she met a young Cuban musician named Desi Arnaz. He was confident, charming, and unpredictable. They met on set. 6 minutes, 48 seconds danced together during breaks, and within months eloped in Connecticut. 6 minutes, 53 seconds everyone said it wouldn't last, and in many ways, they were right. 6 minutes, 58 seconds Desi drank heavily, stayed out late, and had a wandering eye. Lucy, who had spent her whole life craving stability, found 7 minutes, 6 seconds herself in chaos once again, but she loved him deeply and believed that if they worked together, maybe they could 7 minutes, 13 seconds save each other. That belief gave birth to I Love Lucy. In 1951, 7 minutes, 20 seconds when CBS offered to adapt Lucy's radio show, My Favorite Husband, into a TV series. She insisted that Desi play her on-screen husband. The network resisted. 7 minutes, 31 seconds claiming audiences wouldn't accept an interracial couple. Lucy refused to compromise. To prove them wrong, she in 7 minutes, 38 seconds Desi created a live vaudeville tour. The chemistry between them was undeniable. 7 minutes, 43 seconds, and CBS finally gave in. The show became a phenomenon. Every Monday night, the nation stopped to watch Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. 7 minutes, 54 seconds at its peak, I Love Lucy pulled in 44 million viewers, more people than watched the president's address. Lucy's 8 minutes, 3 seconds comic genius, her willingness to humiliate herself for a laugh, and her perfect timing made her the face of television comedy. But behind the 8:12 8 minutes, 12 seconds laughter, her marriage was falling apart. 8:17 8 minutes, 17 seconds DeCessi's infidelity continued, and Lucy's heart broke a little more with each rumor she tried to ignore. When the 8:24 8 minutes, 24 seconds cameras rolled, they were America's perfect couple. When the lights went off, she cried alone. It wasn't easy. 8:32 8 minutes, 32 seconds being married to DeCessi Arnaz. She once said it was always the same booze and broads, yet she stayed hoping that 8:42 8 minutes, 42 seconds love could survive fame. For a while it did, but When I Love Lucy ended in 1957, 8:58 minutes, 50 seconds. The cracks in their marriage were too deep to hide. The world had fallen in love with Lucy and Ricky, but the real Lucille Ball was quietly falling apart. 9:01 9 minutes, 1 second. The Red Scare and public humiliation. 9:05 9 minutes, 5 seconds. In the early 1950s, America was gripped by fear, the kind that could destroy reputations overnight. It was the era of 9:14 9 minutes, 14 seconds. Senator Joseph McCarthy and the Hollywood blacklist. When even the faintest link to communism could end a career. For Lucille Ball, whose show was 9:23 9 minutes, 23 seconds, the most watched on television, that fear suddenly came crashing into her life in 1953. It began with a rumor. 9:31 9 minutes, 31 seconds. Gossip columnist Walter Winchell hinted on his radio show that a famous red-headed actress had once been a communist. He didn't say her name, but 9:49 minutes, 40 seconds. Everyone knew who he meant. The next morning, newspapers across the country printed headlines in red ink, Lucille Ball named red. In a single day, 9:59 minutes, 50 seconds. America's most beloved comedian had become a national suspect. The accusation came from a decision Lucy had. 9:56 9 minutes, 56 seconds. Made nearly 20 years earlier, back in 1936, she had registered to vote as a member of the Communist Party, not out. 10:05 10 minutes, 5 seconds. Of ideology, but out of love for her grandfather, a man with strong socialist beliefs. He wanted me to do it to please. 10:14 10 minutes, 14 seconds. Him, she later said, so I did. She never attended meetings, never discussed politics, and quickly forgot about it. 10:23 10 minutes, 23 seconds. But now, in the hysteria of the Cold War, that long-forgotten choice threatened everything she had built. 10:30 10 minutes, 30 seconds. Lucy, the timing couldn't have been worse. I Love Lucy was in the middle of filming a new season, and sponsors like 10:38 10 minutes, 38 seconds. Philip Morris were terrified. Millions of dollars were at stake. If audiences turned on her, the empire she and Desi. 10:45 10 minutes, 45 seconds had built, Desilu Studios, could collapse overnight. Lucille decided to face it head-on. She voluntarily met. 10:53 10 minutes, 53 seconds. With investigators from the House Un-American Activities Committee, known for its brutal interrogations of actors. 11 o'clock 11 minutes. Writers and directors. 11:03 11 minutes, 3 seconds. Calmly, she explained everything, that she had registered only to make her grandfather happy, that she never voted. 11:10 11 minutes, 10 seconds. As a communist, and that she had nothing to hide. I have never been a communist, she declared. I have never. 11:18 11 minutes, 18 seconds. Been involved in anything subversive in my life. While the public waited for her downfall, DeCessi took action. He. 11:25 11 minutes, 25 seconds. Invited reporters to their home and